Hello, my name is Philip Travis and welcome to Love and Knowledge. I am the author of Croeso Padre. Today I just want to talk about where I've gotten my knowledge from, where I've gotten my information from. At least that way you're not really just looking at me going, who is this guy? What has he done? Okay? Basically it started around 2003. When I grew up, I always had an idea of spirituality and divinity and all that, but I never really paid attention to it. I just wanted to fit in, wanted to have some friends and have fun. But around 2003, I was given a book, The Celestine Prophecy, and that opened my eyes. I didn't start putting things to practice, but it kind of opened my eyes to certain things. I was like, oh wow, that's great. So from that, I started reading books by the Dalai Lama. I read Gandhi's autobiography. Reading books on meditation and the sort. Now, I didn't practice a lot of these things except for compassion for human beings, but even then, I've still done things to people that I wish I hadn't. And karma has gotten me back, so it's, I've learned a lot that way. But around 2008, so I'll fast forward 5 years, around 2008, I picked up a CD by the band called Head Planet Earth, Head PE. And these guys did a CD called New World Orphans. And on one of their songs, they had an insert from a YouTube video about a lady talking about how the Illuminati has a reptilian bloodline. And for me, I was like, what? Reptilian bloodline? Illuminati? What? So, I read the Da Vinci Code. I understood, who the Illuminati were to a certain extent, but I didn't take it seriously. I didn't think that they were legitimate, and if they were, I didn't think they were still going. I knew it was an ancient thing, or an old school thing. So then I started doing research on the whole reptilian bloodline. Coming across David Icke, coming across Project Camelot, and really starting to kind of get into the whole UFO and extraterrestrial thing. And for those of you who would like to, who don't believe and you would like some confirmation, the Disclosure Project, 5 hours worth of people in very high level ranks talking what they have seen, felt, and basically been a part of. 5 hours worth of information. That, and you can look up lots of things on Project Camelot as well. So I started doing this, and I finally started getting a hold of, okay, well, not all this is legit, but it's definitely something to pay attention to. Do I believe that there is a reptilian race out there? Yes, I do. Do I believe that they were put on this planet? I don't know for a fact, but it wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me. But anyway, so after doing my research on extraterrestrials and UFOs, that's where I started learning about, quote-unquote, free energy systems. They're not free, but the renewable energy systems, where we don't need to drill for oil or natural gas or pay anybody to drive a car, other than you buy the car and you can keep going with it. Or not even a car anymore. We can, back in the 1950s alone, Otis Carr and Ralph Ring. Look up Ralph Ring on Project Camelot, and his story is incredible. But essentially, he was a part of a science group that had worked up on the quote-unquote UFO and was ready to push it. And General Motors said, if you put that in the sky, we're shooting it down. So at that point, we had the renewable technology in the 1950s. Now, thousands of years ago, they had this as well. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's evident in a lot of ancient texts. But anyway, so I started learning that. So that's where I started my knowledge on that. And then I started meeting people, Ella High Priest, Black Sunfeather, and many others on the renewable energies. So there are people out there who are doing it, but they're fighting against the grain. They are going against the grain. And they're fighting an oil-based economy, $1 billion corporations, right? $1 billion corporations that don't want this because they're going to lose out on their money. And yet these guys think that we're the bad guys because we still keep paying for the oil. the guys at the very top think they're doing what's right for the planet, and they're not by any means. Just look at what happened off the coast of the Gulf, the Gulf of Mexico, or even in Alaska, right? So anyway, so I started learning about these free energy systems. Now, once you start learning about different life forms from other planets, you start hearing these things about, these beings are 5th, 6th, 7th, 4th, 8th, 10th, 11th, 12th dimensional beings. And, that sounds pretty amazing. And at the other end of the spectrum, it's like, well, how's that possible? How? I mean, we're solid. How does that make any sense? But if you've done your research in physics, you'll know nothing is solid. It's just vibration and frequency. That's it, right? But then if you do research in ancient knowledge, whether it be Buddhist, Vedic, or even Aztec or Mexican or Inca or whatever, any ancient knowledge will tell you that they believe that we are multidimensional beings. We are spirit, first and foremost. So then you start thinking, okay, well, for the evolutionary spectrum, yes, we can evolve to an 11th dimensional being, where you're pure spirit, pure light, but still conscious. So that is where I've gotten my information from. As far as, who, you got Keisha Crowther, you got, again, David Icke, you've got many, many more. There's so many. I've watched hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours worth of lectures. I can't point my finger in one certain direction. Dr. Stephen Greer, many. And then around 2010, I came across a lady who introduced me to Sanctus Germanus Foundation. And through this, I've kind of realized my own divinity and realized that I am a quote-unquote an indigo child or a crystal child or whatever. Basically, an advanced soul that heard the call. There was a call put out in the universe. Dolores Cannon is a good woman to look up on this because she's done a lot of past life regression and gotten people to talk about this, thousands and thousands and thousands. So it's difficult to think that it's just a one-off thing. Where we heard a call that this planet needed help because the dark forces had a grip on this planet and it was going down a dark path, and it wanted to change the direction. When I say it, a hierarchy, a spiritual hierarchy, wanted to change that direction to move this planet to a more beautiful and basically to move to heaven on earth, which we will be going towards. I do believe that. 50, 60, 70 years from now, we will be seeing it closer and closer, and then it'll just keep going. But anyway, so realizing that, hold on, I am a spiritual being first and foremost. Maybe I don't want to be in a metal band. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to scream, and my lyrics may have been nice as far as trying to help people fight the government or wake up to their own divinity, but I wasn't doing anything for myself. So I came across again these guys and really, really started doing my research on that. And if you go to sanctusgermanus.net and you go into that website and you go to the book section, there's lots and lots and lots of books on there. Majority of them are free. Some of them are links to like Amazon or something for you to buy them. But there's lots of free ones in there that just blow your mind. And now the one that I just finished, Isis Unveiled by Helena P. Blavatsky, and this one by Henry Steele Olcott, those talk about occult science. Really the science that our scientists should be looking at, but they are too afraid to do so because if they move towards this, they will get criticized and most likely they will lose their job. Now, but back in the 1800s, when this was when these were written, Helena P. Blavatsky traveled to India, from what I understand, and she traveled to Tibet and a lot of other places where she learned basically how to create matter with her conscious. She learned how to, basically she learned her own occult science. She learned lots. Now, it's the same as what Jesus was doing. I'm not comparing her to Jesus because we're all like Jesus. We are all divine. We all have that divine spark. We are all gods. That's what, from what I understand, he was trying to get across. He was more Buddhist and Hindu than he was Christian. But that's neither here nor there. I think I said that in one of my last videos. But anyway, so these are where I'm getting my knowledge from. And these are people who I do trust, and I do believe that people should be paying attention, if not to these people, but at least to the knowledge. And Michael Mao. Very, very beautiful beings, and they care about us. And they are working with masters. I'm not going to give out the names of the masters, but they are working with masters and adepts who are trying to help move us toward a beautiful place. But anyway, getting back to me. So this is where I've got my knowledge from. And I suggest that you do your own research. Don't believe anything I say. I want you to go do your own research. If something sounds right and you want to, well, okay, that sounds plausible, do your research on it. And if you don't like it, don't. It's up to you. I'm not telling you to believe me. Like I said, I don't want you to. I want you to do your own research. I want you to go out and do your own research. Anyway, I'm babbling. God bless. Thank you very much for paying attention. And I'll see you soon. Love you.